like, share, subscribe. Now I'm gonna break it down for you guys. I told you that he was an Odinist. You can tell by the Norse clothing or Scandinavian clothing, like they're cosplaying or whatever. And you can see right here clearly the song that he has, O Valhalla Skald. And remember, he told me he was a Freemason. I was on my live, and I was exposing Freemasonry and the worship of Nimrod. And remember, Nimrod is no different from Odin. Nimrod is the original sun god that all paganism copies off of. It's literally all the same thing. It all represents spirit travel. And I'm going to prove it here in this video. Or, commonly called Kabbalah, raising the seven chakras, stuff like that, right? Now check it out. So clearly, this is the song he had on that video. You can see here, it's a song to Odin, mentioning the sun several times. And if you've seen the movie The Wicker Man, the phallus is the same thing as the sun. It's like they said, the maypole, which represents a phallus, has the regenerative power of the sun. So literally, the man's seed that can regenerate life. That's what they believe. Now, I'm sure if everyone heard of the all-seeing eye of the Illuminati. It's no different than the eye of Odin. As you see here, he's missing an eye, and he has the all-seeing eye, they call it. And pay attention to this symbol. See, it's starting from the bottom and raising up into the eye. This represents the third eye, or the pineal gland. No different from the eye on the dollar bill, or the Illuminati eye, or the eye of Ra, or the eye of Horus, or the eye of Saturn, which is supposedly on Saturn's south pole, as you can see here from NASA, if you believe in NASA photos. Now keep in mind he's a Freemason, and this is the all-seeing eye in Freemasonry that you commonly see above the two pillars, Boaz and forget the other pillar name, the eye of the Cyclops, all represents the pineal gland. This is the secret teachings of all ages, an encyclopedic outline of Masonic, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, and Rosicrucian symbolic philosophy. And real quick, I want to say that, remember Morrison Dogma by Albert Pike. He says that the Knights Templars became known as today as what is known as Hermetics, Occult, or Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Just wanted to add that in. So what we're looking for is on page 211. You can see here, starting here. Sufficient similarity exists between the Masonic Cherem, and that's Hiram Abiff, the one that they pretend to be during the third degree that gets killed by the three ruffians. Right? Similarity exists between the Masonic Cherem and the Kundalini of Hindu mysticism to warrant the assumption that Chiram may be considered a symbol also of the spirit fire moving through the sixth ventricle of the spinal column. The exact science of human regeneration is the lost key of Masonry, for when the spirit fire is lifted up through the 33 degrees or segments of the spinal column, and enters into the domed chamber of the human skull, it finally passes into the pituitary body, Isis, where it invokes Ra, the pineal gland, and demands a sacred name. Operative Masonry, in the fullest meaning of this term, signifies the process by which the Eye of Horus is opened. A. Wallace Budge has noted, and in some of the papyri illustrating the entrance of the souls of the unalived into the judgment hall of Osiris, the deceased person has a pine cone attached to the crown of his head. The Greek mystics also carried a symbolic staff, the upper end being the form of a pine cone, and that's also called the flower of life, which was called the Thyris of Bacchus. In the human brain, there is a tiny gland called the pineal body, which is the sacred eye of the ancients, corresponding to the third eye of the Cyclops. Now, let me add on that this also called the Catechus of Hermes, and literally every pagan god has a representation of this, which is called spirit travel, right? And I'm going to show you another book called The Masonic Initiation. And here it is by W.L. Wormhurst, the sequel to The Meaning of Masonry. And he says right here, nevertheless, a measure of disassociation does occur naturally in even the most healthy and well-organized people, and of cases of abnormal psychic looseness of constitution we need not speak, occurs in sleep when the consciousness may be vividly active, whether in ordinary or disorderly, induced by alcohol. Disorderly manner. People travel in their sleep. It occurs at times of illness or violent shock, as in trauma from SA. That's one of the main ways they get people to dissociate, especially children. It's actually trained. I'll give you something else. I got another book. It may be induced by alcohol or drugs. The aesthetic revelation is well recognized phenomenon. Under any of these conditions, there may be a complete ecstasis of or consciousness standing out or away of the ego from the physical body. Apparitions or even action at a distance are well accredited facts. Such phenomena are explicable only upon the superstitions of existence of a subtler vehicle, that the gross body, of the fact that consciousness becomes temporarily transferred from the latter to the former, and that the two are capable of conjoint function in complete independence of the physical brain and body. A little further down from that paragraph I read, it says right here, since such initiation always occurs when the physical body is in a state of trance or sleep, and when the temporarily liberated consciousness has been transferred to a higher level. So they're literally telling you, in paganism or occultism, when you get initiated, this is what's happening. You're literally taking your spirit out of your body. This is no different than being a spirit medium. This is witchcraft. This is what witchcraft is about. I'm going to close it with this. This is The Ascent of Evil by Wendy Hoffman. This is recorded in the the Masonic Egyptian Satanic Connection by David Carrico. It says, disassociation is different for survivors of satanic cult abuse. The cult carefully teaches the art of disassociation. Remember, because this is called Kabbalah, or lifting the chakras, or being a spirit medium, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same. Its victims' lives depend on their capacity to learn it young and fast. This association is required subject taught in its schools, cult school, like math or satanic writing. Moreover, the cult insists that its victims master simultaneously disassociation and non-disassociating. It's easy for cult members to tell by looking at someone whether he is disassociating. They can check the member's dissociative skill just as easy as they can check on the whether his addition is accurate.